What's going on? Good morning. Before I get this video started, I wanted to give you a little update on the WRX. Currently, I'm just waiting on a few parts to come in. I'm so dumb, guys. It's been so long that I completely forgot. When I got the JDM engine, it actually came with a JDM downpipe. And the best thing is that it's actually straight through downpipe. It's a catless. And as far as I can tell from everything I've seen online, the OEM JDM uppipe looks identical to the US uppipe. So I should be able to use the JDM uppipe and pass smog. Hopefully. We'll see. That being said, guys, today's video is all about my daily. A while back, I was putting a lot of miles on my current car, so I went ahead and decided to sell it and buy a cheaper beater. And what I ended up with was my 05 Golf TDI. Now, the 05 TDI Golf is an extremely reliable car. It gets really good gas mileage. It's easy to work on, and well, it gets the job done. It's definitely not the most comfortable car in the world, and don't get me wrong, I've definitely been tempted to modify this car. Being a diesel, there's a lot of aftermarket parts and a lot of aftermarket support for this car, but even though it's a beater, as I'm sure a lot of you guys agree, there's definitely a few things that I have to have in a daily car, and the number one thing is the audio. Now, this TDI does come with an upgraded sound system, so it already has a speaker amp. I forget what they call this system. Wow, that's dirty. But the speakers actually do a really good job, and they actually sound pretty decent. The only thing missing is the lower end, but we'll get to that in a moment. I did already upgrade the head unit to an Android head unit by Toto. It does Bluetooth calling, Bluetooth streaming. You can install any app that you'd like. It also does phone mirroring and a whole lot more. And like I said, and as with many OEM systems, the speakers definitely lack low end. Let's go ahead and give it a little sound test. So, not too bad. Of course, by messing with the equalizer, you're able to get a little bit more lower end, that bassy sound out of the system. But when you start doing that with speakers that weren't really meant for that low end frequency, your music and audio starts to sound a little bit more muddied and not as clear. So it's definitely a big advantage to have a dedicated subwoofer. I've had the subwoofer for probably a good 5-6 years. Now, this sub is a 500 watt sub. It has a 1000 watt peak. Power my subwoofer, I'm going to be running Fosgate R2 500X1, which is a Class D amplifier, 500 watts at 2 ohms. And as you can see on the birth sheet, at 2 ohms, this sub can push 637 watts, which is always good to know, and you always want to wire accordingly. How's my subwoofer? I'm going to be using this 10-inch vented enclosure. As you can see, it's bare on the inside. There's no padding or filling. I might change that later on depending on how it sounds. My biggest concern with installing a subwoofer is I do a lot of driving and I need most of the space in the car for work, so I wanted a system that wouldn't take up too much room. And I'm not a huge bass head. I don't like overdoing it, so I think one 10-inch sub is the perfect amount versus doing like 2 big 12s or something like that. Plus, I mean, it just takes up way too much space if you do something that big. So all that being said, I need to figure out exactly where I'm going to be mounting this amplifier. Figured since it won't fit under the seat, I can go ahead and put it in the trunk. So I think what I've decided is I'm gonna go ahead and place it right here on this side, mount it on the wall. That should give me plenty of room. It'll stick out a little bit, but the amp is pretty small, so it shouldn't really interfere too much. So I went ahead and decided to mount the amp on this little door that opens up to the other amp, mainly because right here I didn't realize that it curves off. There's actually not enough room right here to put a screw or a bolt in. It's solid, seems super solid. The door does shake a tiny little bit, but not much. But what I need to do next, since I have this mounted, I need to go ahead and take apart the driver's side trim, where I'm going to be routing the power wire and the remote wire, and then we'll start tackling the RCA cables. Alright guys, so it's all wired up. I went ahead and connected the power wire up front. I already checked to make sure that it had power and nothing was gonna short out or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the same song that I played earlier in the video. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference, if the mic will pick it up, but hopefully you'll be able to tell how much of a difference it is. Hopefully the camera can pick that up, but huge difference, guys. I'm super happy with the results. I wanted something smaller, didn't take up too much room, and as you can probably see, it's more than enough for the car. So now all that's left to do is just button everything up, put all the trim back on. I'm gonna have to figure out where exactly I'm gonna mount the subwoofer. I haven't decided that yet, or how I'm gonna mount it, but I can do that once everything is buttoned up. So I'll go ahead and do that real fast, get that done, and I can show you guys the end result.
Honestly, I don't know who the fuck to trust. Is she my friend or my foe? I'm a ex draw. Yeah, she give me that claim I was wrong. I remember back when I was younger, I was happy. Nowadays feel like no one understand me. I'm good at artists, still on Bob, Bambi. Baby's yellow, text. She wanna eat me like candy. Run up the racks, track me. I'll run up the racks like an athlete. Big facts, you're the dick.